Hello, welcome guys back to the channel. Maverick here, ready for episode 14 of Steins Gate 0. Last episode we actually had a lot of development here, right? Especially in regards to Kagari, her entire backstory and whatnot. Lots of time travel shenanigans within there as well. That's making everything confusing. And to make matters worse, she has been recalled in a certain sense, right? Because she's been brainwashed or mind controlled or something like that. And so now she has disappeared. Right. I'm not going to go into all the theories that I already talked about. You guys can just go watch last episode's review for that part. But there's definitely a lot of stuff unanswered, right? And I've been racking my brain and I still can't really figure it out, like, especially in terms of the time travel stuff, because, a lot of things just don't add up, right? But yeah, that's something that we'll probably see more of in the future. Right now, I'm curious how they're actually going to continue the story, right? Because, with us, from a viewer perspective, since we know some other stuff as well, the logical conclusion would be, okay, maybe make contact with Maho again, maybe start snooping around Professor Alexis and whatnot, but the protagonists don't know that, right? Okabe doesn't know that, so how exactly are they going to make this connection? That's something I'm curious about. And that seems to me the only real logical clue or direction that they can do, right? Unless they want to suddenly involve something entirely new here, which is also possible, right? But it wouldn't feel as smooth a transition, I guess you could say. So before we begin, one last thing, and I actually forgot if I actually made this announcement within a Steinsgate episode before, but since this is currently the fall season already of 2019, in terms of anime, I've decided on my seasonal anime and my non-seasonal stuff, but one series that I'm watching for this season will be decided by you guys, so there will be a link down below with a voting poll, and, you can just vote for whichever anime you want me to watch for this season. As sort of a viewer vote, right? Currently, it's quite close, like literally neck and neck between the top two, and I'm aiming to close the poll sometime tomorrow. So get your votes in, and of course, you're always welcome to recommend me some series in the comments down below, which I may, I'll look at them and I may or may not add them to my backlog to potentially watch in the future. But man, I got a huge backlog. I don't even think I put a lot of stuff that I want to watch in the backlog. But anyways, beside the point, let's get started into the episode. Alright, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Okay. Hey, was that a tuturu? Didn't get the actual sound, but at least that was a tuturu. I've missed that tuturu. Ooh, several months. Okay. Time skip. Probably kind of hard, yeah. Being demolished. I feel like even if it was demolished, though, you can... Well, of course the police won't help you, but you can still hire some private investigators and, try to dig up records, right? Because even if it was demolished, it had to be owned sometime. The land has to be owned by someone. Utility bills and whatnot has to be owned by someone. And hey, school uniform Mayuri. Nice. Yeah, as I was saying, I feel like there's still a possibility of actually investigating from the facility. But I'm probably looking at this entirely too serious. Well, you guys know me. Alright, that's the opening. Let me skip this real quick. I'll see you guys in a second. Actually, wait a second. I just realized this is not the same opening, right? It's literally different because I believe the old opening had some Amadi as something as the opening sequence. So they changed the opening? Anyways, let's watch this together in 3, 2, 1, play. Oh, and I gotta mute it too. Because of copyright. Well, it's still the same song, isn't it? Wait, has it actually changed? Aren't these parts the same? Hmm. Okay, okay, it's definitely different. No, I mean, that was obvious, but I mean, quite a lot is different. This part is the same. This part is different, I think. Ooh. This part is definitely different. Okay. Interesting. Maybe some foreshadowing of things to come? Wait, since when have you two been... Huh, so that's the way that they connect this here. Yeah. Then don't. Compose your own. That's what you're... Alright, she is a girl after all. Fine, fine. That was a pretty good impression. Hmm. Hmm? What is that? I can't quite see clearly. These three are actually having a lot of screen time. And even in the opening, they had a few scenes as well. No. Hmm? Huh. Are we actually? Hmm. No. Mm. Hmm. Oh. I really like Maho. I don't know why.
を持っているのよね。そうですが、なんです改まって。もしもよ。今タイムマシンを作る方法が見つかった。タイムマシン？その材料が目の前にある。どうする？そんなの
Of course you would make it.
決まってるじゃないですか。ただし、材料をタイムマシンは悪魔の発作る
Screw them.
ですね。迷う。実際、過去に干渉することで未来がどうなるのか、今ここにいる私たちがどうなるのか、何一つ分かってませんから。
Even if you don't do it, somebody else is eventually gonna do it.
でも、形にはするでしょう。使うかどうかで迷うと思いますが。
Hmm.
半年前に落としていった。違う。来たんだ。ここに。今のうちに汗流しとこう。
No, so that was the thing that she picked up outside. Ooh. Really?
動くな。おかしなま。
Hoo-hoo-hoo!
手を頭の上に。
Nice.
止まれ。この暑いのによくそんな格好していられるね。ヘルメットだけでも取ったらどうだ。
Is she gonna throw it at her? Ooh. Kagari?
神様の声が聞こえる。
Oh, okay. I was like, you can't fade to black on that scene. Oh, damn, look at her eyes.
カガリ。出して。
Oh. Shh. She's actually.
とてもマシンの中でベソベソ泣いていた子供とは思えないな。驚いたよ。マユ姉さん、泣いていたぞ。ママか。おとなしくしろ。殺しはしない。
先生はどうしたん？扉開けっぱなしで。え？
Ooh.
父さんに傷一つつけてみろ。たとえお前でも本当に殺す。
I don't.
今のかがりたんだよね。
うん。
そしてかがりたんがいたん？ た。
I mean, I guess, you know, in a series with time travel and whatnot, I shouldn't really complain about the ridiculous nature of everything.
マがかがりたんだったなんて。違う。父さんたちを襲ったのは別のやつだよ。あの時かがりは神社にいた。
Not to mention the first time, she was literally the object of the person
何者かに洗脳を受けて
who was in a suit.
洗脳って誰に？
12年前かがりがタイムマシンでやってきたことを知った誰かがかがりを捕らえて。
どうしたん？
声が聞こえる。ミソマの。まさかあの時すでにかがりは。
Right, she's been pre-programmed from the start.
オカリに連絡するを。かがりたんが現れたって。
オカリンおじさん、かがりが見つかったと聞いたら多分また必死に探してくれると思う。でも父さんもさっき見た通り、今のかがりは危険すぎる。天然って考えればかがりのことを思い当たる節が私にもあるんだ。あいつの状況を、かがりを救うためにはタイムマシンを使うしかない。バカか私は。今頃になって思い出すなんて。バルキューレの仲間たちが次々に毒牙にかけた管理局の教授。
The Bureau's professor. Huh.
父さん、
マホタンにもう一度頼んでみる。こっちに来て本格的にタイムリープマシンの開発を手伝ってくれないかって。心配すんな。僕が絶対完成させてみせる。絶対いいんだ。
His protective dad tendencies are showing right now.
どうしてもあなたの力が
Even though
世界を救うために。
来てくれれば乗り物だ。純白のワンピースを着てくれあすば保証がぼっとも
she's not impressed.
マジな話する。マホタンがいないとできそうだよね、電話レンジ。
手直すつもりなの。もう一度言う。あなたの力を借りたい。返させて。
うん
はっきりしたことは聞いていない。でもおそらく牧瀬クリスは岡部倫太郎と一緒に別の世界線で何度も何度もトライアンドエラーを繰り返し、それでも時に干渉することに成功した。完成させたのだ、牧瀬クリスはその装置を。
いやー、まさかこの若さで論文が掲載されるとはね。素晴らしい。君のその才能は。
うん Jealous Maho.
開けてやるって、絶対中を見てやるって、せめてそのくらいは。
だが一歩間違えば死者の墓を暴くのと同じ行為だ。
Yeah.
考え事ですか？私でよければ相談に乗りますけど。ありがとう。先輩？
Hmm?
ちょっと探し物を。雑誌のバックナンバー。はい、された。
What? What?
自分の力でたどり着けばいいのよね。あな
How did she just suddenly make that decision?
私は再び向かうマキセ・クリスが生涯を終えたあの街へ理由は少し言葉にはしにくいけど、ただ一つだけ言えるとしたらモーツァルトの才能を誰よりも認めていたのは
That would be his rival.
陰りなのだ。
And a new ending as well. Alright, let's take a look at this. Or is it just literally... Okay, never mind. Well, this isn't much better, actually. If they're just... if it's just gonna be Karisu walking. Okay, you know what? On second thought, let me just listen to this by myself, since there's not really much I need to comment on here. So, I'll see you guys in a second. Alrighty, so the new ending song was actually sung by Karisu, or rather her voice actor, right, Imai Asami. So I guess that's obviously judging from the song title and whatnot, it has to do with the entire series, and indeed I feel like even the song itself takes some motifs from the opening, right, so you can hear some influence there within the phrases and chords and whatnot, but interesting, not really much else to say about there, so let's just talk about the episode, right. Now, obviously the focus should probably be on Kagari, and especially in regards to that scene where she's fighting between Suzuha. To be honest, I wasn't expecting that at all. I thought that it was going to be another case of the anime bamboozling us, like making it deliberately seem as if some kind of danger is lurking nearby, and it just turns out to be, I don't know, Okabe or Ruka or something who's coming in to check on the state of the lab or something like that, right? But no, it's actually Kagari as an enemy in this case. The fight and all that. The animation isn't really anything to write home about, but I did really like Kagari's eyes, right? I feel like it really gave off this sort of it really captured the sense of fear within her eyes, or make people feel fear. Sort of like being mad and emotionless and sadistic at the same time, I guess you could say. So I did like how her eyes were drawn there. Interesting though, it seems that she's not entirely under mind control. She still has a certain conscience of her own. So I think the kind of brainwashing or mind control was maybe more like very, very strong suggestion, right? Instead of absolute mind control. And indeed, it's weird for me. Why did this entire thing happen? So are they trying to say that Kagari actually, was hiding nearby, still outside the lab, and so she accidentally dropped the thing, what's that thing called? Upa, I think? She dropped the Upa, and then she's coming back to get it back again? Like, what? Like, what is the significance of that? I don't really know here. And why is she still hanging around there anyways? And more to the point, if she's hanging around there, where is she staying, right? My initial, my gut feeling is she might be staying in a hospital, to tie it in with the scene at the hospital and Professor being there, but that's really just a wild guess right now. So yeah, like, what is her purpose of still staying nearby, right? And that is yet another question amongst all the puzzling questions that I have in regards to her character. But, Suzuha kind of mentioned a hint in this episode that she kind of has an idea of who it is, because apparently someone in the future is also skilled in mind control, I'm guessing, and that guy happens to be a professor, right? And so actually, combined with everything before, I am leaning more and more towards the theory that perhaps it is the professor being the mastermind behind all this, and part of some grand plan to, gain first mover advantage in terms of time travel, right? He can't, in the future, World War III happened because two superpowers were fighting over control of it. If they could go back in time and secure time travel being first developed by one nation, then none of this would happen, right? So I think potentially out of the 3 theories that I was contemplating on from last episode, this one probably fits the most right now, considering everything that we've seen. But yeah, definitely not really much else to go on here. Probably still need some more clues. And on another note, I'm wondering about the sort of side characters, right? Especially the 3 girls, Fubuki, Kaede, and what's it called again? Yuri or something? Like what? Dang it, I can't remember. Why am I so bad with names today? Like, I literally can't remember anything. But anyways, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? So they have screen time in they have lots of screen time within episodes, and they even have their appear within the opening. So I don't know. I'm just wondering, are they going to play perhaps a bigger role than any of us actually thought from the beginning? This entire debacle with being hospitalized again. Is it just a setup so that they could meet the professor in the hospital, or is it somehow relevant? Right? Really hard to say, but it's just something, throwing something out there that I've observed so far that I feel is kind of funny, and funny I mean in the sort of kind of weird and suspicious way, right? So beyond that, I guess one last mention would be in regards to Maho, right? So she's heading back to Japan and presumably bringing Kurisu or Amadeus Kurisu with her, right? And that would be great. I kind of miss her already, with her interactions and whatnot with Okabe, and of course with Amadeus as well. Like I've been saying within this episode, I actually, for some reason, really like her character, even though her entire character design is definitely not something that that really is something that I like that much, but I just feel like her entire character, personality, and whatnot, I want to see more of it, right? Who doesn't like a good tsundere who's also a genius, quite smart, and acts cute every now and then, right? So yeah, I'm actually really looking forward to seeing Maho back with the whole gang again. Although, judging from events, she's supposed to be sort of secretive and they're developing the time leap machine behind Okabe's back, right? So maybe it'll be some time more before we can actually see them interact on screen again. And so yeah, I feel like that pretty much covers everything I want to talk about in this episode. The point where talking about respecting time travel, and so you don't develop it, don't how should I say it? Don't defile what Kurisu was trying to leave behind, and so on and so forth. Like I said, I don't really care much for that. Even if I didn't know the ending of Steins Gate, right? I would probably be saying the same thing, because again, under these kind of circumstances, you're not going to be able to hide this kind of technology forever, right? Somebody eventually in the future is going to develop the same thing. They're going to do the exact same things. They might even go back to literally this timeline and change your future, and you would be none the wiser, right? So, not really buying this entire don't change timelines, because don't develop time machines because yada yada yada, right? If you don't do it, someone else will. It's that simple. So yeah, that's been kind of a ramble, but honestly there wasn't that much to talk about for this episode, because not enough new information to really further my theories or anything. So there we go, that was episode 14 of steinsgate 0. Don't forget to vote, guys, if you haven't already, and I will see you guys soon again. So stay tuned, bye bye.